I have been biting my tongue for ages, waiting for the perfect moment to drop this bomb. And trust me, once you hear what Bethenny Frankel just revealed, you will never view Meghan Markle through the same lens again. Because this time, the Real Housewives firecracker didn't just toss a little sass, she detonated an entire volcanic eruption of secrets. And the biggest shock of all? A long-whispered, never-before-aired, possibly romantic thread connecting her to Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson. Yes, that Trevor. The man who knew Meghan before the crowns, before the headlines, before the streaming deals, before the whirlwind chaos. The man who saw her unfiltered, unpolished, and hungrier for success than anyone on the outside ever realized. And when Bethenny admitted what Trevor once confided about Meghan's future with Prince Harry, I swear my entire soul paused. Because Trevor didn't talk about their potential relationship like a sentimental ex wishing his former partner happiness. No, he laid it out with the cold precision of a CEO watching a power player negotiate a takeover. His words were sharp. Oh, she'll seal it. And when Bethenny pushed back, wait, you actually think she's going to land Harry? Trevor didn't hesitate, didn't blink, didn't breathe. She'll seal it. The conviction. The certainty. The eerie déjà vu in his tone, like he'd watched this exact storyline unfold once before. It was unsettling and disturbingly predictive because everything Meghan has done over the last 7 years suddenly snaps into place in the most explosive way imaginable. Bethenny slipped this confession into a podcast like it was nothing, right in the middle of dissecting the chaos at that Kardashian event. But when she shifted into her personal history with Trevor Girl, she opened a door none of us even knew existed. She went on to reveal that she had crossed paths with Trevor more than just once or twice. This wasn't casual small talk. There was flirting, there was energy, there was that spark people pretend not to notice. They tossed around ideas about collaborating. They connected. The way Bethenny described it as potentially romantic was almost comically understated, because the way they kept circling back to each other practically shouted undeniable chemistry. And all of this unfolded long before Meghan reinvented herself as the Duchess of Sussex. Back then, she was simply an actress on a cable drama called Suits, a show so under the radar half of Hollywood didn't even realize it existed. Bethenny sure didn't. She didn't know the show, didn't know Meghan, didn't even realize Trevor had been married before, not until he mentioned it in the most laid-back, borderline emotionless tone imaginable. My ex-wife, from that show Suits. That was all he said. No bitterness, no wounded pride. Just a blunt, almost surgical delivery of information, as if the past had been neatly boxed up and stored away. But months later, when the world was buzzing with headlines about Prince Harry's mysterious new girlfriend, Bethenny fired off a text to Trevor. Hold on, that woman is your ex-wife? And Trevor's response carried the kind of icy, unnerving confidence you only hear from someone who knows exactly who they were once married to and exactly what she was capable of pulling off. And if that was the moment Bethenny's instincts first started prickling with suspicion about if Bethenny had sensed even a flicker of something off in Meghan's so-called fairy tale, she had no idea how deep the rabbit hole went. Because what came next didn't just change the story. It detonated the entire narrative we've been fed since the moment Meghan stepped under the royal spotlight. This is where the whole thing swerved straight into psychological thriller territory. Trevor never described Meghan's future with Harry the way ordinary people talk about relationships. He didn't say she'd fall in love. He didn't say they made sense together. No, he reached for the language of deals, leverage, and execution. She'll close. That's what you say when you're talking about a contract, a merger, a strategic target. And in Trevor's eyes, that's exactly what Harry represented, the ultimate win, the highest value acquisition. And Meghan? She wasn't a dreamer. She wasn't a romantic. She was the architect, relentless, driven, meticulously focused, the kind of operator who doesn't wait for opportunities to arrive. She stalks them, studies them, and secures them with sniper-level precision. But the revelation morphed into something even darker when Bethenny linked it back to what Megyn Kelly had previously exposed about Meghan's old vision board. Supposedly, Trevor had once told a friend, long before any royal romance existed, that Meghan kept a vision board plastered with images of Prince Harry. Yes, photos of Harry before the introductions, before the whispers, before this supposedly spontaneous love story even flickered to life. His face was there like a target, not a person, as if she wasn't dreaming about a relationship. She was mapping out a campaign, a mission. Suddenly the world saw a swoon-worthy fairy tale, but Trevor had lived through the prototype. Just imagine the level of orchestration required to pin a prince to your wall, and then reverse engineer your entire public aura around appealing to him. Studying his passions, noting his weaknesses, crafting a persona perfectly calibrated to slip past his defenses. Humanitarian angles, the feminist messaging, the travel snapshots, the rescue animals, every piece curated with surgical precision to fit Harry's emotional wiring and moral ideals. She didn't simply cross paths with him, she prepared for him. She studied for him. She trained like someone gearing up for the role of a lifetime. And Trevor saw it because he'd watched this exact behavioral pattern before. He'd witnessed how Meghan moved when she set her sights on something, researching, recalibrating, shapeshifting, becoming the flawless embodiment of whatever would unlock the next door. So when Bethenny messaged him about Harry, he recognized the blueprint instantly. She'll close. He didn't even need a heartbeat to answer. Suddenly, their entire whirlwind romance, the mutual friend introduction, the shared passion for charity, the narrative of fate and serendipity. All of it started sounding less like a true love story and more like a meticulously choreographed master plan. A performance Meghan had been rehearsing long before Harry ever stepped onto the stage, and what makes the whole thing even more spine-tingling is the backdrop where Bethenny and Trevor's connection first sparked. Picture Soho House, Chicago, dim lights, clinking glasses, walls humming with power brokers and creatives. Bethenny, already a reality TV powerhouse with her skinny girl empire blazing across the country, walks in and meets a charming, polished film producer who knows exactly how to command a room. The chemistry is immediate. Numbers are exchanged. The conversation flows effortlessly, business, ambition, scars from the past, until eventually, Trevor cracks open the chapter of his life that involved Meghan. But the way he described her wasn't bitter. It wasn't wistful. It wasn't even emotional. His tone was eerily detached, almost diagnostic, as if he'd already dissected the data, run the simulations, and reached his verdict. He didn't give Bethenny heartbreak or bitterness. He gave her data. Cold, concise data. And buried inside those matter-of-fact details was something far sharper than any emotional meltdown. Because Trevor Engelson didn't frame Meghan as some tragic figure in a doomed romance, he painted the picture of someone who identifies openings, constructs identities, shifts her skin like a chameleon until the door she wants swings open, then leaves behind whatever no longer serves the mission. And Bethenny, hearing all this long before Meghan became a royal headline machine, tucked those revelations deep into the back of her mind. So when Meghan suddenly erupted into global fame, Bethenny's instincts lit up instantly. While the world was dazzled by the poise, the glow, the perfect narrative, Bethenny was one of the first to sense the cracks, the edits, the over-polished edges. And now it finally makes sense. She had access to a private puzzle piece none of us even knew existed. And when you connect the dots, the curated persona, the vision board imagery, the corporate phrasing, the surgical precision with which she slipped into Harry's orbit, the story stops reading like a fairy tale and starts looking like a meticulously plotted ascent, crafted by someone who always knew the destination and mapped every step years before she arrived. And honestly, the more Bethenny revisited those early talks with Trevor, the more the entire Meghan and Harry saga started to resemble a psychological chess match masquerading as a whirlwind romance. Because Trevor didn't speak like a man who'd been blindsided or abandoned. He spoke like someone who had cracked the code, someone who understood the inner mechanics of how Meghan moves when she decides someone is her next objective. And when you rewind the tape with that in mind, it becomes impossible not to see Harry as the ultimate mark, a prince, a global symbol, the world's most coveted bachelor, bruised by childhood trauma, yearning for connection, validation, and someone who appeared to understand him down to his bones. It's as if Meghan studied him first, his wounds, his longings, his patterns, then sculpted herself into the one person he would cling to without question. Trevor had watched this play out once already. He had felt that gravitational pull, that charm that could wrap itself around you like silk. He had seen her ambition, how quietly ruthless it was. He had seen the way she could transform herself into whatever the situation demanded. And when Bethenny texted him asking, "Is that really your ex with Prince Harry?" he didn't laugh or panic or get emotional. His response was chillingly simple. "She'll close." Like a strategist predicting a move on a chessboard, like a businessman watching someone complete a high-stakes merger. It was cold, it was confident, and it was painfully accurate. And that wasn't the only explosive detail Bethenny revealed. When she described how she and Trevor first met, you could practically picture the scene. He walks in, handsome, accomplished, carrying the quiet confidence of someone who has built a career behind the scenes. She walks in already a star, but down to earth, blunt, sharp, with that signature Bethenny energy. They connect instantly. They talk, they flirt, they laugh, they dive into life stories. And somewhere in those conversations, Trevor starts opening up about the marriage that had just ended. But he doesn't talk about cheating or heartbreak or messy fights. Instead, he talks about it like someone who had observed a pattern, someone who understood he had become a stepping stone in somebody else's climb. He mentioned she acted on Suits, but he didn't say it like he was bragging. He didn't hype her up. He didn't call her talented or brilliant or misunderstood. He referred to her like someone who had already processed the shock and was now simply sharing the facts. He even told Bethenny he and Meghan had split because the dynamic shifted once she began getting traction in her career. Suddenly, she wasn't the same woman he married. Suddenly, she had outgrown the life they built, and she was hungry for something bigger. He was hungry. When Meghan landed her role on Suits, everything changed. Her priorities, her behavior, her level of interest. Trevor felt the shift, the emotional distance, the ambition intensifying. And then came the moment that would define their future. She ended the marriage by mailing him her rings. Mailing, not meeting, not talking, not even texting. Mailing. The level of cold detachment in that action alone is enough to tell anyone exactly what kind of mindset she operated from. And this is what Trevor was referencing when he told Bethenny she'll close. Because he had seen something in Meghan others hadn't seen yet. The strategic planning, the emotional distancing once the goal was reached, the shift from warmth to calculation. And when pictures of her with Harry popped up everywhere, he recognized the playbook immediately. He knew she was aiming higher, much higher. And Harry, bless him, was walking into it with a blindfold on. And what's crazy is that everything Trevor predicted years ago echoes through Meghan's every public move today. Take the Kardashian party disaster. The one at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash held at Jeff Bezos' $64 million Beverly Hills mansion. This wasn't just a party. This was a networking Olympics, a status parade, a lineup of who matters in Hollywood and who doesn't. Meghan walked in with an agenda. She wasn't there to celebrate Kris. She wasn't there to enjoy the night. She was there to position herself closer to the power players. Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez, Kim Kardashian, the influencers, the mogul, the connections she desperately needed now that her and Harry's brand has been sinking like a rock. And guess what? It backfired spectacularly because you can feel desperation, you can smell calculation, and you cannot fake authenticity. In a room full of people who've mastered the game themselves, Hollywood's elite instantly sensed Meghan's vibe. Everything she did, every smile, every pose, every whisper was strategic. And the Kardashians, they felt it. They felt it so strongly that they scrubbed every trace of Meghan from their social media. Deleted, vanished. Digital erasure at its finest. And that kind of move in Hollywood isn't an accident. That's a statement. It means you're a liability. We don't want your energy near our brand. And when Bethenny analyzed the situation, she didn't mince words. Her perspective was brutal because she's someone who built an empire by understanding people, patterns, and ambition. She recognized Meghan's behavior instantly, and she called it out. And just when the Meghan Kardashian mess was exploding, another scandal added gasoline to the fire. The puppy disaster. Harry wore his puppy proudly for Remembrance Weekend, honoring veterans. Meghan, meanwhile, showed up at billionaire events wearing designer dresses and zero puppy, zero acknowledgement. Zero respect for Harry's heritage, military community, or the British veterans she claims to support. And don't buy the excuses. Puppies were available everywhere. Harry had one. Amazon, owned by Bezos, the man hosting the party, literally sells them for $8.99 with same-day delivery. Meghan not wearing one wasn't an accident. It was a choice, a symbolic one. And it was loud. Veterans saw it. The British public saw it. Even Hollywood insiders saw it. And they talked. They whispered. They exchanged looks because nothing screams "I don't care about your values" louder than refusing to wear the simplest symbol of honor during the most important weekend for military remembrance. And the fact that Harry stood next to her wearing his puppy looking stiff, awkward, and emotionally exhausted made the whole thing even more painful to watch. Everyone keeps talking about how unhappy Harry looks lately. The Dodgers game, the red carpets, the Bezos events, the forced smiles, the empty eyes. The body language experts are having a feast with every frame. And honestly, Trevor's words explain it better than any analysis. Harry wasn't chosen because of love. He was chosen because he was the ultimate goal. And goals aren't loved. Goals are acquired. And once acquired, they're maintained until they stop serving a purpose.